Welcome dear students, this is Neha Garg, Assistant Professor in Department of CSA, IGM University Gwalior, going to deliver a lecture on network security. Its subject code is MCA 505 and today's lecture we will discuss the Unit 1 topic, that is the classical encryption techniques. These are the outlines of the today's lectures. First we discuss what is the prerequisite of this topic, what are the objective of this today's lecture, what is the cryptography, what are the purpose of the cryptography, characteristics of the cryptography, what are the types of substitution techniques, what are the substitution techniques and its types. At last, on the basis of the today's lectures, I will give you the assignment, and after that what are the learning outcomes and research scope of this today's lecture, and last is the references. So if we are talking about the prerequisite of the topic, so students should have a knowledge about the mathematical notations, like how to calculate the mod of numbers, right? So what is the meaning of the mod of numbers? We have know that in the mathematics when we solve the numericals there is a term that is the mod. So because in this today's lecture when we solve the practicals on numericals questions on the substitution techniques, in that case it's required that the mod functions. So all of the students have to know that what are the mod functions and how to calculate this mod functions, right? And also have a knowledge about the security services, because in previous lectures we have discussed the various security services, various principles. So all of these are required previously for this today's lecture. Now move on to the objective. So the basic objective of this today's lecture is to understand that how to protect the confidentiality, how to protect the authentication, how to protect the integrity, and how to protect the non-repudiations of your network as well as your data by various cryptographic encryption techniques and its applications. So in today's lecture we will discuss the various cryptography encryption techniques, which includes the two types, substitution techniques and transposition techniques. So we will discuss these techniques one by one, and it provides secure networks, because when we send the data over the network we can secure our data by using these encryption techniques that we have discussed today, right? So now move on to the topics of today's lecture. So first we are talking about the cryptography. As we know that we have already discussed some basic introductions of the cryptography. So as we know that cryptography is basically called as a techniques which is used to convert your plain text message to a ciphertext. What is this meaning? We can say that plain text message is called as the intelligible message. Why? Because everyone can easily read your plain text message. This is the common or a normal message that is human can read easily, and convert that message to the unintelligible message, or we can say that this term is also called as ciphertext message, because we convert this plain text message to convert into a ciphertext. Why? Because we can say that this is unintelligible message, because every users can't able to read that message, because the message is converted into in the encrypted form. So not every users can easily read the message, because there are various techniques that we have discussed today by which we can perform the encryptions. So some techniques are more secure, some techniques are less secure, some techniques are hard to crack, and some techniques are maybe little bit easy to crack. So it totally depends on the human choice, or depends on your data, that what type of data it is. If it is more secure, if it is more confidential, then you can use the techniques that is very hard to crack, right? And after when we take the converting your plain text message into a ciphertext message, then we can return back into a original form at the receiver side, because at the receiver receiver basically want to access or get the message in the original form. So when we converting the plain text message into ciphertext at the receiver end, then we again have to convert that ciphertext message to the plain text. So in normal terms we can say that crypto plus graphy Crypto plus graphy is called as secret plus writing. What is the meaning of crypto here? Meaning of crypto is secret and graphy is a writing. So secretly done writing, that's called cryptography. So these are the basic terms that we have to know when we move on to the topic of encryptions, classical encryptions technique. So these are the basic terms that we have to know already before, which is the plain text, which is also called as the original message, text message. Ciphertext is the transformed message that is called as in the encrypted form. And there's the most important term here is key. Why we required key? Because when we converting this plain text to the ciphertext, we can't directly convert into in the encrypted form. There is a required of a key. So basically key have the two types, either we can use public key or private key or a single key. So that's a different topic we will discuss later, but here you have to know that when we converting the plain text to the ciphertext, we required a key. So key is called a critical information used by the cipher, only known to the sender and receiver. What is this meaning? Because this is key is to be a critical or secret. Why? Because with the help of this key we can encrypt or decrypt. So if we with the help of the key we can encrypt the message as well as decrypt the message, so it is known only to the sender and receiver. Otherwise, if someone else knows your key, then they can easily get your or stolen your confidential data, right? So in case of the key is a critical information or critical thing that is known only by the sender and receiver. Because why that is known only the sender and receiver? Because when the sender knows the key, it will encrypt the message. When the receiver knows the key, it will decrypt the message, right? So this is all about the three terms, basic terms. And now is the encryption. So encryption is the basically process of converting your plain text message to ciphertext message. And decryption, process of converting the ciphertext to the plain text. I am also given here the references. So if you know more about the topics or the terms, you can go to the refers. These references are to be have written at the end, so you can go and go with your references. And also there the cello. So what are this topic, what are the particular content says in the every slides are to be defined as in the cello, which will also be placed at the end of the slides. So you can also go and refer there. Next one is the cryptography. So cryptography is the diagram. Here we can already discuss that first we need a plain text, then we convert this plain text into a ciphertext, which is called as the encryptions, and for the encryptions we required a key. This is a common key. So in cryptography there are two terminologies: either we can perform the encryptions and decryptions using only one key, or we can perform the encryptions and decryptions for two keys. It means one key is used for encryption and second key is used for decryption. So there are two methods or types of this cryptography. So here there is a common methods, because in substitutions we required only one key, right? So first we convert this plain text to the ciphertext with the help of encryption. Then after making this ciphertext, we again convert this into a plain text, that's called the decryptions. And here we required only one key for the encryption as well as for the decryption. Right? So now if we are talking about the purpose of the cryptography, so why we understand or why we read or why we need this terms to cryptography? Because this cryptography is already depends on the some principles, that is the authentication, confidentiality, integrity, non-repudiation, access control. These are the most important principles of the security. That's why we require the cryptography. If we are talking about the authentication that we have already discussed, it basically says that no one when a sender A sends a message to sender B, only sender A send the message. It means no one can pose as user A and send the message to B. Right? It means if a sender A wants to send the message to sender B, only sender A can send the message. No other persons or the attacker pose as user A and send the message to B, because at that time B doesn't know that from where the actual message comes. He or she only knows that the message comes from user A, but ultimately the message comes from the attacker, which are taking the position of user A and send the message to user B. So this is the case of the authentication. So if we're talking about the confidentiality, confidentiality says that if a sender A send the message to sender B, the message is confidential or secret message. So in that case, no one except A and B will be able to get the message. So this says the confidentiality. If we are talking about the integrity, so integrity loses when the content of the message are changed after sender send it and before reaches to the destination. So that's why we can say that integrity, because in integrity attacker change the idle route of the message. Attacker change the idle route of the message, which is from sender A to sender B. It will change it to sender A to C and C to B, because here C represented as an attacker. So in integrity, integrity is compromised when the message will be changed or altered after sender send it and before the receiver receive it. Right. So if we are talking about the non-repudiation, non-repudiation says that we can say it loses when the sender sends a message and later refuse it, that he or she can't send the message. It means when a user A sends some message to user B and B will perform according to the message sent by the sender A. After performing all the operations, sender A refuse that I had never sent that message which you claimed that you have received. Right. So this is the case of non-repudiation. And if we are talking about the access control says that it determines that who should be able to access what. So I am not repeating in detail that what is the terms and what are the examples of access control, we have already discussed. So just I am giving you definitions, repeating the definition, that it determines who should be able to access what. Right. So these are the most important principles of the security. In that case, we can say that what is the purpose of cryptography and why we need cryptography. So you can also go to the references for this topic. Here the references I am used here, the R1 and R2, it is 1 and 2 are the references. You can go or also refer these books. Now, if we are talking about the applications of the cryptography, as we know that we have already discussed the purpose of the cryptography, from which we have already know that what are the applications of the cryptography. So first one is the secure communications. As we already know that for this cryptography we can encrypt the message or encoded the message and send it to the receiver over the network. So that means it is a secure communications over the networks, because the actual messages are not to be sent in the form of coded, in the form of encoded form. So in that case we can say that it provides a secure communication over the network. Right. Second one is the identification and authentications. As we have already discussed the principles in previous PPT, and here we have discussed the authentication. So we have already discussed why it provides what are the applications of cryptography that use in the authentications, that no one can except user send the message to user B. So next one is the secret sharing and data hiding. It means we can easily secretly send the message over the networks from sender to receiver. How we can see that secret sharing? Because except user sender A and receiver B, no one can access the message. In that case we can say that our message is hide. Actual message is to be hide, that is no one can access the message over the network except sender and receiver, because the messages are to be sent or in the form of encrypted form, or we can say that we can follow the principles of the security. It is confidentiality comes in this secret sharing and or we can say data hiding. Next, if we are talking about the e-commerce and e-payment, so how we can say that these applications have that is the e-commerce have used in the cryptography, because with the help of the cryptography we can provides the secure electronic transactions. It's called the SET. It means it provides the secure electronic transmissions. As we know that internet becomes the rapidly uses the day-to-day lives, right? Because we have in the everyday lives we performs the various transactions methods for the purchasing the items over the internet by the help of the credit card numbers, right? We can use the credit cards numbers to perform the online transactions, right? So for this performing the transactions we required a secure channel. Secure channel is required. So in that case cryptography plays a very important role. So with the help of this cryptography techniques, we can say that it provides a secure electronic transactions for this e-commerce and e-payments, right? Next one is called as the certificates. So if we are talking about the certificates, so certification is basically a scheme by which trusted agents such as like certifying authorities which guarantees for the unknown agents like users, right? So in that case we can say that certification is also an important and part of this applications of the cryptography, right? So now we talking about the characteristics of the cryptography systems. So basically if we are talking about the characteristics, so basically as I am already told you, there are mainly two important methods which is also called as operations. So there are types of operations used for transforming the plain text to ciphertext. There are two ways by which we can transform your plain text message to ciphertext. So first one is the substitution and second one is the transposition. So in substitutions letters are replaced by others. So it will be clear when we solve the numericals, then how the letters are replaced by the other letters, right? So this is the substitution technique. And second one is the transposition technique. So what we'll do in the transposition, letters are arranged in different order, right? So though these two methods are used for transforming the plain text to ciphertext. Next one is the number of keys used. It means, as I am told you that there are two methods. If you are using the only one key, it means only one key is used for encrypting and decrypting, right? So this method is called as the symmetric, single key, secret key or conventional encryption, right? So these, if both sender and receiver use only one key for encryption and decryption, that's called as symmetric, single key, secret key or conventional encryption. If the sender and receiver uses the different keys, one for encryption and one for decryption, and these two keys are called as public key and private key. So it's a different concept. We will discuss later. So but you have to know that what are the types of the keys here. So that's why you have to know that what are the types of the keys. So the system for using the different two keys are called as asymmetric, two key or public key encryptions, right? But here when we solve the numericals on the substitution techniques and transposition techniques, you have to know that what is the concept of the keys, right? So these are the two characteristics of the cryptography system. First is the type of operation and second is the number of keys. Third one is the way in which the plain text is proceed. It means how we can process the plain text, because there are two methods. One, you can perform the plain text in the stream manner. Stream manner is, it means that we just make or encryptions is done by one letter to another, right? And second one in the form of block cipher. Block cipher means that we are just performing the encryptions in the form of blocks. It means we can process the input one block of elements at a time and producing the output block. If we are using the input block, it will produce the output block. But if we are talking about the stream cipher, we can process the input elements continuously and producing the output one element at a time, right? So in block cipher we process the input one block and gives the output block, and in stream cipher we process the input one by one continuously and will produce the output one element continuously, right? So these are the three main important characteristics of the cryptography system. Now we moved on to the techniques of the cryptography. So there are, as I am already told, there are two techniques. First is the type of substitution techniques, and first is the substitution techniques, and second one is the transposition techniques. So we will discuss in detail both these techniques. So first we move on to the substitution techniques. So if we are talking about the substitution techniques, what it is meaning of substitution techniques? It will replacing the plain text letters by the other letters. In substitution techniques, the letters of the plain text are replaced by the other letters, right? So the plain text is viewed as a sequence of bits. Then the substitution involves replacing plain text patterns with the ciphertext. So how many types of the substitution techniques? First is Caesar cipher, monoalphabetic cipher, homophonic cipher, polygram, Playfair cipher, Hill cipher, polyalphabetic cipher, Vernam cipher, which also called as one-time pad, and last one is the Wegener cipher, right? So we will discuss these substitution types in detail one by one. So first we moved on to the first cipher, which is the Caesar cipher, right? So Caesar cipher is basically involves replacing each letter of the alphabet with the letters standing 3 places further down the alphabet. What it is meaning? It's basically replace each letter one by one and replacing the 3 places. So it not say always says that 3 places, because by default we can take the value of k is 3. 3 places means that value of k is 3. But you can also change the value according to the condition or problems. So, and this method is named after the Julius Caesar, who is used to communicate with these journals. It is also known as the shift cipher, because we are shifting the letters according to the places that have given, right? And it is one of the simplest and most widely known encryption techniques. As you have discussed all the ciphers, then you have already know that this is one of the simplest cipher, because it's a method of conversion. The plain text to cipher text is very easy, right? So before starting, you have to know that what are the method have used for the converting the plain text to cipher text. As you can see here, we have a plain text P, right? And we want to convert this plain text to cipher text. So what is the method used here? How to convert this plain text to cipher text? So what we will do, as you can see here, it is a formula which is called as C equals to E k comma P equals to P plus K mod 26, right? What is the meaning here? We have EC, that is the cipher text that you want to convert it by plain text. So C equals to E. E represents here encryption, right? Encryption, and in the what we'll do in the encryption, K comma P. It means K is the key. As I am already told you that for performing the encryptions we required a key, right? So this is the key represent here, and key comma P. P is your plain text. It means how to convert this plain text to cipher text? We perform the encryptions, and what we will take in encryptions, what are the inputs for the encryptions? K comma P. It means this is a plain text is required and key is required, right, for encrypting this plain text to cipher text. So K comma P is also written as P plus K mod 26. Why I am using here mod 26? Because alphabets, if we are talking about the alphabets, how many alphabets are there? A to Z's. So that's why we required here the mod 26, right? So if we are talking, this is the cipher text. By this formula we will get the cipher text. If we want to convert the cipher text to plain text again, so there's the formula will be same, but here we use the plus and here we will use the minus, right? So here P, why I'm using P? Because of plain text we can convert the cipher text to plain text again. So I'm using here P equals to D. D represents for the decrypting the message, and this decryption includes key and C. Here I am using the P because I am converting the cipher plain text to cipher text, but here I am converting the plain text to cipher text to plain text. That's why I am using here the K comma C, and K comma C is also written as C minus K mod 26, and the value of K ranges from 1 to 25. Right, so this is the formula. It will be clear, more clear. Now we solve the numerical. Right, as you can see here, example 1, encryptions of a letter A by a shift 3. Shift 3 means value of K. Shift 3 means the value of K is given, which is 3. And how we can calculate, how we can perform the encryption? Because this says that you have given a letter A, which is the plain text, and you have to convert this A to cipher text. So this is the first example. So what we will do, E K comma P, right, which is equals to P plus K mod 26, as I am defined you here. Right, so what we will do in next step, P, what is P? Value of P, it is plain text given to use A, so I use here A plus K. What is the value of K? Is 3, so A plus 3 mod 26. Now what will be the value of A? Because can we add this A plus 3 directly? No, because this is the alphabet and this is the number, so we have to convert this alphabets into a number. Right, so these are the mathematical terms that we have convert this alphabet to numbers. It means we starts from the 0, it is gives value A0 to A, and so on, and at last value 25 going to Z. That's why its total here is 26, because it starts from 0 to 25, it means total is 26. That's why we have used here the mod 26. Right, it will be more clear when we solve the or more numericals, that why we need this mod 26 after this summation. Right, so no issues here. If you are not able to understand, then why we always use the mod 26, it will be clear later. Right, so A plus 3 mod 26. Right, so when we convert this value of alphabet to number, it gives 0. Right, so here I am using here 0 plus 3 and mod 26. So 0 plus 3 is 3 mod 26. So if we taking the mod 3 and mod 26, as I am already told you, this is the prerequisite that you have to know that how to calculate the mod. Right, so if you taking the mod 3 mod 26, it gives 3. Right, and 3. So what is this 3 number represents? As you can see here, 3 number represents here the D. Right, so when we encrypt this letter A to D, it means this is the original letter A, which is the plain text, and we convert it into a D. Right, so this is the way how to perform the encryptions, because here I am not using the word in the plain text, I'm just using only a one letter, so it will be more clear to you. Right, so next example is the same example when we perform the decryptions. Decryptions means in encryptions we will convert this A to D. Now in decryptions we convert this D to A. Right, first we convert A to D in encryptions, and in decryptions we convert D to again in A. So A quotients will be same, but the formula is different. Here I will use C minus K mod 26, as I am already defined you here. Right, so if we are using the C minus K, here is mod 26. C here is cipher text, which is D, that we have encrypted in the previous step. So D minus K mod 26, value of D here is 3, so I am using 3 minus 3, value of K is also 3, and mod 26 equals to 0 mod 26 gives 0. So what is the 0 number represents? A. Right, so decrypted letter for D is here is A. Right, so when we encrypt when we encrypt A to D, and when we decrypt this D, again it will convert it into A, which is your original plain text. This is the way how to perform the encryption and decryption in the Caesar cipher. Now we have a questions which gives the actual plain text message. Then how we will convert? So how we will convert? as we can see here, this is the plain text message, right? And now we will convert it into a ciphertext, and the value of key given you is 3. It means you have to shift 3 places. It means in this way we can also say that by this taking the alphabet H, you have to shift 3 places, right? Either you can use this method or you can perform directly. How we can perform the directly? Because 3 means that you have to shift 3 places. It means if you shift H from 3, it means H के बाद क्या आएगा? A B C D E F G H, and after H you have to shift 3 places, means I J K. After H you have shift 3 places. It means after H I J K. It means K you have given, right? So either you can use by this formula or you can use by the table, because first how to construct this table? First you have to make a first row. How? You have just write the alphabets from A to Z, right? In the next step, what we will do, because here you have to given the key 3, it means A B C, you have to remove the first 3 alphabets, that is A B C, and start with D. It means because we have given the value of K is 3, so you have to remove first 3 alphabets A B C and start from D. So D E F G H I J K L M N O P Q R S T U V W X Y Z, and after the Z, what we will do? You have repeat the alphabets, it is A B C. It means this starts from D E, and whatever the alphabets you have to remove here comes at the end, right? So this is the way. If you don't want to follow this methods, then you can directly solve the numericals by constructing this table, right? So answer will be same. So I think this methods will be more easy than this method, because in this method you have to convert the alphabets into a numbers, then take a minus, then take a mod. So it will be a little bit difficult or time taking. So if we are solve the numericals by this methods, it is also very easy. So one thing you have just remember, that whatever the key have to be given, just remove the first 3 alphabets or the alphabets according to the given key, and after that you have to write all the alphabets, and after completing or reaching at the Z, at the last alphabet, you just repeating the alphabets, or we can say that whatever the alphabets you have to remove at starting comes at the end. So if we are talking about this plain text, H will be converted into a K. As you can see here, this H converted into a K, and E is converted into a H, right? So here E is converted into a H. Next is the L is converted into a O. So here L is converted into a O. Fourth letter is also A, so again L is converted into a O. Next is the O. So if we're talking about the O is converted into a R. So here O is converted into a R. So this is the way how to perform the plain text to the conversion to the ciphertext, right? So this is also the next example. Here the one difference is that in previous questions we have given a key is 3, but here we have given key is 5. So if we have given a key is 5, so methods will be same. That I am already told that how to construct the table. Whatever the key is given, just to remove the alphabet. So here key is 5. It means A, B, C, D, E. 5 alphabets are to be removed, and starting with the next alphabet, that is F. So A, B, C, D, E are removed and start with F. And writing here all the alphabets Y till Z, and at least reach at Z, we just write all the alphabets that we have removed starting from A, B, C, D, E, right? This is the way to construct the table. And just directly W is represented by B. So here W is represented by B. E is represented by J. So here E is represented by J. right? Or you can use this method, or you can use this method. If you are using this method, it is p plus k mod 26. It means p here is w plus 5 mod 26, which is equals to 22 plus 5, and it gives 27. So why I am taking the mod here, it will be clear to you here, because if we are not taking the mod here, it means 22 plus 5, which gives 27, right? So can we convert this 27 number into an alphabet? Can we do this? Can we do this? Because number starts from 0 to 25, but there is no alphabets have given for the letter 27, right? So in that case, we have to take a mod with 26, which gives 1. Can we represent 1 as alphabets? Yes, 1 is represented as B, right? So I think it will be clear to you that why we are using the mod here, because if the numbers have greater than 25 and greater than 25, then we can't convert the number to a alphabets. So that's why we have required the mod, which will convert this number between 1 to 25, because this 26 always give you a number between 1 to 25, so 0 to 25, so that we can convert this number to a alphabets. So now for this w, we will convert it into a 1, which is called as B. So either you can use this method or use this methods, right? So if we are talking about the attacks in Caesar cipher, so what are the attacks? As we can discussed previously that if we have know the key, then we can encrypt or decrypt the message. So in Caesar cipher, there is an attack which called as brute force attack, because brute force attacks is easily performed by simply trying all possible keys. How? It means if you have a cipher text is given, it means this cipher text or this encrypted text we have transmitted over the network from sender to receiver. So how we can say that this cipher text, which we can say that this is the encrypted text, attacked by the attacker? How? Suppose we have given a key, we have already know that we have the key, and there is a plain text here. What the attacker do? What the attacker will do? What the attacker will do? Attacker will just try with all the keys. Suppose here the ciphertext that the attacker will easily get, because attackers can easily get the encrypted message over the networks. So what she will do is just take the message, right, and just try it by applying the keys. Suppose first they will try with the key 1. So what we will do, because from all these messages that he or she want to convert it after with the help of the key, they can easily get that what is the actual message, right? Because as you can see here the 3 text that he or she will be converted after the applying the key. So can we easily identify that what is your plain text message? Plain text message is your human readable message. Can we read this one? No. Can we read this one? No. Can we read this one? Yes. This is the says that hello, right? So attacker just take the message and apply the key one by one. So first it will apply the key 1. So what is the key 1 means that, because we are just decrypting, so one shift we will previous, it means one shift previous with k is j, right? Because we are decrypting here. One shift previous with h is g, o is n, and r is q. So if we are shifting or decrypting this cipher text by key 1, we will get this plain text. Can we say that this is the plain text? Because no, this is not the human readable message. And attacker will try with second key, then we'll try with third key, and so on. So how many ways then attacker will get the plain text message? 25 ways, right? If the attacker want to try with the 25 possible keys, then he or she will get the plain text message very easily. That's why we can say that the Caesar cipher is not much secure. Why? Because there is a brute force attack comes. How? Because attacker will try with the all possible keys, that is the 5 possible ways for decrypting your messages, and at the end he or she will get the message. As see with this example, attacker will get your plain text message by 3 trial. First trial fail, second trial fail, and the third trial. At the third trial, he or she or attacker will get the actual plain text message. So this Caesar cipher is not much more secure for encrypting your text over the network. So what we will do? So there's another attack which is called as monoalphabetic cipher. Monoalphabetic cipher, because in this cipher we can say that we can, rather than shifting the alphabets by the key, we can shifting or we can change the plain text with any possible keys, right? So it means, as we're talking about the Caesar cipher, we have only 5 possible keys. So Caesar cipher is far from secure. But by the help of monoalphabetic cipher, rather than just shifting the alphabets, the letters arbitrary, each plain text letter maps to a different random ciphertext. Here we use the term random. It means there is a no fixed way that just convert this plain text to the ciphertext by the key. There is a no concept of the key. We just convert the plain text to any random ciphertext. Here the key is 26 letters long. Hence the key is 26 letters long. Why? Because each plain text, when we convert the letters in plain text, we have 26 letters by which we can convert this plain text to a ciphertext. So it is can say that this monoalphabetic cipher is better than Caesar ciphers, right? And this monoalphabetic cipher is also called as hard to crack. So if we take the example here, this is the plain text message, and here we convert this A to D random. We can take A to any number starting from alphabets A to Z. So here we can convert A to D, B will convert to K, C convert to V. If we are we converting to A to D, then it's not same that again we have get the letter A, then we can convert this A to D. There is no way. It means अगर आप starting में A को D से convert कर रहे हो, तो ऐसा जरूरी नहीं है कि आप हर बार A को D से ही convert करो, right? Next is we have letter is B, so we have converting B to K. So it's totally depend on you. We can also change the way. First way we converting B to D. In next way we will converting B to next some other alphabet, right? So this is the way how to convert this monoalphabetic ciphers. So this second plain text. Same way here I am using the A to converting with W. Here next time I is come. Here I is come, which convert by W. Here next time if I is there, then in next way I is converted to W. Same, either here I am using the I with W, in second time I am using also I with W. You can also change it according to our need. And here is the same example, converting the plain text to ciphertext. So this is the way how to perform the Caesar cipher and monoalphabetic cipher. So on the basis of these lectures, I will give you the assignments. So you just try to solve these questions. First, converting this plain text to the Caesar cipher, and second, converting this plain text to using monoalphabetic cipher, right? So these are the 2 questions have given you, and both 2 questions have the 2 sub questions, right? So if we are talking about the learning outcomes, that what we have learned today on this lectures, so as on the basis of the today's lectures, your students will or you will easily understand that what are the cryptography concept, basic concepts, and also called as the network security concepts, like what are the authentications, confidentialities, what are the purpose of the confidentiality, what are the characteristics of the confidentiality, what are the applications of the confidentiality. We have noted clearly. Also you have understand the crypto encryption techniques. Today we have discussed the 2 techniques, that is Caesar cipher and monoalphabetic ciphers, that are used for securing our data over the network, right? So if you're talking about the research domain, so in research you can also go there in the field of the network security. By the help of these encryption techniques, you can also do combining the one or more techniques. Here I am using only the one technique separately. You can also, if you want to performing the more security, then you can combine these techniques. Either you can combine the 2 techniques, 3 techniques according to our questions, so that it will provide some more security. Second thing, you can also use these encryption techniques in the various applications like the e-commerce, e-payment, for the secure transactions over the network, right? These are the references, and these references I have already included in the every PPT slide, so you can also go and refer these books. These are the shallow points and that I have already included in the PPT slides. So all these you can also goes that what are the shallow 1, 8 and 9 points says that I have included in this slide. Thank you.